Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another exciting and unbelievable episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting quietly in your pocket change right now. And today's story will blow your mind because we're going to explore the unbelievable story of the 1988 1-cent coin that shocked collectors around the world when a rare era version of it was discovered worth up to $6 million, a staggering fortune for a tiny copper-plated coin that most people would just toss aside or drop into a jar without thinking twice. But what makes this little coin so valuable? How could something minted in the millions suddenly be worth a life-changing amount? And what specific mistakes and errors turned it from an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's dream? That's exactly what we'll uncover as we peel back the mystery layer by layer. Because the 1988 Lincoln cent hides secrets so subtle and extraordinary that even experienced numismatists took years to fully understand the magnitude of its errors and what makes it so unique among all other coins from that era. And if you've ever wondered how an everyday coin could turn into a $6 million marvel, this story will open your eyes to the incredible world of minting anomalies, die varieties, planchet misstrikes, and the small imperfections that make all the difference between a penny and a piece of history worth millions. So stay with me as we go deep into the mystery of the 1988 1-cent that became one of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. minting history. The first thing that makes the 1988 penny special is understanding what was happening during that time in U.S. mint history, because 1988 was a transitional year that followed major changes in coin production. Just a few years earlier, the composition of the penny had been altered from solid copper to a copper-plated zinc planchet in 1982, and while that change might seem small, it introduced a host of new complications in minting, including striking inconsistencies, plating bubbles, lamination peels, and die deterioration, which together made 1980s pennies some of the most error-prone coins in modern times. And in 1988, a particular series of minting mistakes created a variety so strange and confusing that even professionals had to double-check their microscopes to believe it was real, because in that year, some pennies struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints used leftover dies from the previous year, 1987, which had minor but distinctive design differences, particularly in the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the designer's initials, FG, located on the reverse next to the Lincoln Memorial. And it's this very mix-up that gave birth to the now famous 1988 reverse of 1989 and 1988 D reverse of 1989 transitional errors, which are among the rarest and most valuable varieties ever discovered in the Lincoln cent series. These transitional errors happened when a die intended for the 1989 penny was accidentally paired with the 1988 obverse die, resulting in a hybrid coin that technically should not exist. And because these dies were changed slightly between years, the mistake can be identified by looking closely at the FG initials on the reverse. In the genuine 1988 reverse, the G has a strong serif tail, while in the 1989 reverse, the initials appear smoother, bolder, and closer to the building, and that tiny detail is what transforms an ordinary penny into a multimillion-dollar treasure, since only a handful of these transitional errors ever left the mint before quality control caught the mistake. Most experts believe that less than a dozen genuine 1988 D with reverse of 1,989 examples exist in gem condition, making it far rarer than many gold coins or historic silver dollars. And when such a coin surfaces at an auction, collectors go wild because these transitional varieties mark key moments in minting history where human oversight, technological transition, and mechanical wear combine to create an irreplaceable anomaly. The first known discovery of a 1988 D reverse of 1989 penny caused a frenzy in the coin community, with numismatists comparing die markers, verifying minting characteristics, and ensuring authenticity under extreme magnification. And once verified, prices began to skyrocket, with early examples fetching tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, until one particularly pristine and well-preserved coin in near-perfect condition was reportedly sold privately for an astonishing $6 million, setting a benchmark that stunned even veteran collectors. But why would anyone pay so much for a single penny? The answer lies in rarity, condition, provenance, and the historical narrative surrounding such a coin, because it's not just a small round piece of metal, it's a mistake frozen in time, a tangible piece of minting history that embodies how even the world's most advanced coinage systems can falter and accidentally create a masterpiece by pure chance. And collectors crave these stories, The ones where human error collides with mechanical precision to create something truly unique. Every 1988 1-cent coin tells a story, but this particular version tells one of incredible oversight. As the US Mint was preparing for die design updates leading into 1989, they phased in new reverse hubs that changed the positioning of design elements, and a few 1988 dies were mistakenly fitted with these new reverse hubs, leading to this extremely rare transitional error. And while most people who found these pennies never realized what they had, those who knew the subtle diagnostics could identify it and strike numismatic gold. Beyond the transitional reverse error, other error varieties from 1988 also contribute to the coin's fame and potential high value, such as off-center strikes, double die obverse errors where the date or the word Liberty shows doubling, broad strikes that show stretched planchets, and die cap strikes that result in distorted, almost melted-looking coins, all of which can fetch hundreds to thousands depending on their severity and condition, and when combined with the transitional reverse anomaly, these coins can become once-in-a-generation finds worth unimaginable sums, and that's why serious collectors, treasure hunters, and even casual enthusiasts search their penny rolls and jars with microscopes, hoping to find one of these elusive errors. Some 1988 pennies also display strong die cracks running through Lincoln's head, forming patterns that collectors nickname as lightning bolt or Scarface varieties, and others show lamination errors where the thin copper plating separates from the zinc core, revealing silvery patches that give the coin an otherworldly look. While these are fascinating and collectible in their own right, they pale in comparison to the awe-inspiring rarity of the transitional reverse of 1989 variety. For those who don't know how to identify such a coin, the trick lies in the initials FG on the reverse, right next to the Lincoln Memorial, because in the 1988 regular reverse, the initials are spaced differently and the G has a sharp tail, but in the 1989 reverse used mistakenly on some 1988 D coins, the initials are closer to the building and more rounded, and once you've seen the difference, you can never unsee it, and that's what makes roll searching and examining your change so thrilling. You never know if that slightly worn penny in your hand could be the legendary one worth $6 million. The story of the 1988 penny also reveals how fragile and imperfect the minting process can be despite high levels of automation, because every coin goes through multiple stages of die preparation, hubbing, annealing, and striking, and even a minor oversight in die storage or replacement can create varieties that slip through the cracks, unnoticed until decades later when collectors rediscover them and realize their significance. It's like finding a tiny time capsule of human error mixed with precision engineering, and that's why each error coin becomes a piece of art, science, and history combined. The allure of the 1988 1-cent goes beyond its value. It symbolizes how something as simple as a penny can carry immense cultural and historical weight, and when you think about how many hands a penny passes through, how many years it survives, and how easily it could be lost or destroyed, the fact that one small coin survived long enough to be recognized as a multi-million-dollar treasure feels almost miraculous. Many experts speculate that only a few more undiscovered examples might still exist in circulation, hiding in jars, old rolls, or forgotten piggy banks, waiting for a lucky finder to stumble upon them, and that possibility keeps the excitement alive, driving people around the world to inspect every 1988 penny they come across. And beyond the transitional reverse error, other factors also influence value, such as mint mark placement, die deterioration doubling, and planchet quality, all of which can create micro-variations that collectors adore. Sometimes a faint repunched mint mark on a 1988 D or a dramatic die break through Lincoln's profile can push a coin's value into thousands even without the transitional error, especially if graded. Next 2022 1-cent coin, everyone to another thrilling and mind-blowing episode where we explore the fascinating world of rare coins that can turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary fortune, and today's story is one that will make every collector's heart race because we are diving deep into the unbelievable mystery of the 2022 1-cent coin. A coin so small yet so powerful that certain rare error versions have been valued at up to $5 million, an astonishing sum for something most people ignore or toss into a jar without a second thought, but as we'll uncover together, this little coin from 2022 carries within it a series of minting errors, production anomalies, and striking imperfections that transformed it from a humble modern penny into a jaw-dropping treasure worth millions, and if you've ever wondered how a coin minted just a few years ago could possibly reach such an astronomical price, you're about to discover the hidden world of minting mistakes, die variations, and the incredible coincidences that make these coins so valuable and desirable among collectors worldwide. Now 2022 may sound too recent for a coin to already be rare, but history has proven again and again that when it comes to minting errors, time doesn't matter. What matters is the mistake, and in 2022 something extraordinary happened at the US Mint during the mass production of the Lincoln cent, the iconic coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait that has been a staple of American currency since 1909. That year, millions of pennies were struck at different mint facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but hidden among these millions were a handful of coins that came out very different from the rest due to mechanical glitches, misalignments, die deterioration, planchet contamination, and transitional die usage. And it's these very mistakes that turned ordinary 2022 1-cent pieces into coins worth a staggering $5 million. Imagine that, a coin minted in your lifetime, still found in circulation, with errors so rare that collectors would pay the price of a mansion just to own it. The most talked about and valuable among these 2022 penny errors is the double die obverse, a striking variety where the details on Lincoln's face, the date, and even the motto, "In God We Trust," appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die hubbing process, and when this doubling is strong and visible without magnification, it creates one of the most dramatic and sought-after visual effects on any modern coin. Because collectors love errors that can be easily identified by the naked eye, and that's exactly what some of these 2022 cents show, a clear doubling on the letters and the portrait that makes the coin instantly recognizable as something extraordinary. When these were first discovered, the coin community exploded with excitement as photos began circulating online showing dramatic doubling that made the coin look almost like a shadowed illusion, and experts quickly confirmed that these were genuine minting anomalies, not post-mint damage or mechanical doubling, and once the grading companies like PCGS and NGC authenticated the first specimens, values skyrocketed from mere hundreds to thousands, then into the millions as pristine examples in mint state condition were found. Some reports suggest that only a few of these perfect double die obverse coins exist, possibly less than 5 known examples in flawless condition, which explains the multi-million-dollar valuations because rarity combined with dramatic visual appeal always drives value in the coin world. But that's not the only type of 2022 penny error making waves. There are others that are equally fascinating and contribute to the coin's legend. Among them are the off-center strike errors where the design is noticeably shifted, revealing large blank areas of the coin's surface, sometimes showing only part of Lincoln's portrait or even cutting through the date. These are called major off-centers and can fetch thousands depending on how much of the design is missing and how well the error is centered. Then there are the die cracks and die cuts, errors that form when the dies used to strike the coins develop fractures or chips, leaving raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface, often forming unusual patterns like cracks running across Lincoln's face or a large blob connecting the rim to the field. Collectors find these visually intriguing because they tell the story of a die literally breaking down during production. And the 2022 pennies are notorious for these because the zinc-coated copper-plated planchets used today are harder on the dies, causing accelerated wear and more frequent die failure. Some 2022 pennies also show severe plating blisters, small raised bubbles caused by trapped gases between the zinc core and copper plating, giving the coin a unique blistered look that, while technically a defect, has become a collectible curiosity in its own right, and when these blisters form near Lincoln's profile or over key lettering, they make each coin one of a kind. Another rare and extremely valuable 2022 cent variety is the mule error, an event so rare that it almost defies belief, where a 2022 penny was struck using the obverse die of the Lincoln cent but accidentally paired with a reverse die meant for another denomination, such as a dime reverse or a test die used for internal mint calibration, and these mismatched coins, called mules, are among the rarest types of errors in existence because they happen only when dies from different denominations are mistakenly installed in the same press, and when discovered, they cause an uproar in the coin world. There have been rumors of a 2022 mule cent featuring the Lincoln obverse with the Roosevelt dime reverse, a combination so bizarre that experts consider it one of the most extraordinary modern minting mistakes ever recorded, and if authenticated, such a coin could easily reach or surpass $5 million due to its uniqueness, rarity, and the sheer shock factor it represents. Beyond that, some 2022 cents display broad strike errors where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing it to spread out larger and thinner than normal, giving it a pancake-like shape, and when this happens on a coin in pristine uncirculated condition, it becomes a highly desirable mint anomaly. There are also examples of clipped planchets where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed in the blank cutting process before striking, and these can form crescent-shaped clips that add visual intrigue and value, especially when the error is clean and accompanied by full design details on the remaining surface. Then there's the possibility of transitional planchet errors, where coins were accidentally struck on leftover planchets from previous years or even foreign coin stock intended for another country's production, something that has happened multiple times in U.S. mint history, such as the famous 1943 copper cent or 1944 steel cent. And if any 2022 penny was mistakenly struck on a leftover or incorrect planchet, say a dime's copper-nickel planchet or a foreign bronze blank, it would instantly become one of the most valuable coins of the modern era. Even more incredible is the possibility of double strike and triple strike errors, where the coin was struck more than once by the press due to feeding malfunctions, resulting in overlapping images that look like echoes of Lincoln's face or multiple dates stacked slightly apart. These multi-strike errors are highly prized because they show the chaotic nature of mint machinery when things go wrong, and 2022 saw a surprising number of striking anomalies due to high-speed production and massive minting volumes. Combine all these potential errors with the heightened attention from collectors, and you have the perfect recipe for record-breaking values. The $5 million valuation often quoted for the rarest 2022 penny error comes from the combination of rarity, visual drama, and pristine condition, because modern minting technology makes true major errors extremely rare, so when one does slip through, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. A single coin showing multiple errors, for example, a double die obverse that's also off-center and broad-struck, could command astronomical prices because such combinations are virtually impossible to reproduce intentionally. It's also worth noting that the condition of a coin, graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, plays a massive role in determining its value, and when a 2022 error penny is found in MS68 or MS69 red condition with full mint luster and no signs of wear, its value increases exponentially, because modern collectors crave perfection combined with rarity. Professional grading companies encapsulate these coins in tamper-proof holders with official labels noting the error type, and those labels themselves often become legendary in collecting circles, sparking bidding wars whenever one appears at auction. Stories have emerged of lucky individuals discovering these error coins in pocket change, coin rolls, or even fresh boxes from banks, unaware that they were holding something worth millions. Last 2004, D1 cent coin, everyone to another thrilling deep dive into the amazing world of rare and valuable coins where small pieces of metal can hold unbelievable fortunes, and today we're uncovering one of the most shocking discoveries in modern numismatic history, the story of the 2004 D1 cent coin, a humble penny that most people would overlook in their change but which, because of a series of extraordinary minting errors and production mistakes, has become one of the most sought after and talked about coins of the 21st century, with certain rare versions valued at up to $4 million, an almost impossible number for something worth just 1 cent at face value, yet the evidence, auction records, and collector excitement all point to one truth: some 2004 D pennies are no ordinary coins, they are miraculous accidents born from mechanical failure, human oversight, and rare transitional conditions at the U.S. Mint that together created a perfect storm of rarity and value, and this is their story. Imagine opening a roll of pennies or finding a 2004 D cent in your pocket change and realizing you're holding a coin worth more than luxury cars, houses, or even gold bars. It sounds like fantasy, but it's real for those who know what to look for, because in 2004 something unusual happened during the Denver Mint's penny production cycle, a combination of aging dies, shifting planchet quality, and transitional metal inconsistencies led to several extraordinary varieties that collectors later confirmed to be authentic mint errors, each one a distinct and beautiful mistake that turned into a numismatic legend. The 2004 D penny already holds historical significance because it represents a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning between older die preparation techniques and newer digital engraving technologies, and during that period, minor inconsistencies often escaped quality control, leading to double strikes, broad strikes, die breaks, and even off-metal planchet errors, each capable of turning a simple penny into something priceless. But in 2004 one error stood above all: the 2004 D double die. Obverse, an incredibly rare and valuable variety where Lincoln's profile, the date, and the inscriptions show dramatic doubling caused by a misalignment between the master hub and the working die during creation, and when this doubling is strong, especially on the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the numbers, 2004, it becomes an unmistakable marker of rarity, the kind of visual error collectors dream of finding. Reports suggest that only a handful of these 2004 D double die cents exist in near-perfect mint state red condition, which makes them almost mythical, and when the first examples surfaced, they stunned the coin community because such major doubling had not been seen on a Denver penny in years, and the combination of clarity, dramatic separation of design elements, and perfect strike quality pushed the value into the millions, with private collectors reportedly offering as much as $4 million for pristine examples encapsulated by PCGS or NGC as MS69 red with full luster and no contact marks. But the double die is just one part of what makes the 2004 D cent legendary. There were also other significant minting mistakes during that year that contribute to the coin's fame and possible high value, including the infamous off-metal strikes where the 2004 D cent was accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations such as dimes or foreign coins, creating extremely light or silver-colored pennies that weigh less than the standard 2.5 grams, and these are so rare that each known example has sold for tens or even hundreds of thousands, and experts estimate that maybe one or two perfect examples could approach the multi-million-dollar range due to their sheer rarity and desirability. One of the most mysterious and fascinating of these is a rumored 2004 D penny struck on a steel or aluminum planchet, a mistake thought impossible in modern minting because those metals were discontinued decades earlier, but evidence suggests that a few leftover test planchets or experimental pieces may have been accidentally fed into the coin presses at Denver during early 2004 runs, resulting in coins that appear silvery and lightweight with unusual magnetic properties, and if authenticated, such a specimen could easily surpass $4 million at auction because it would represent a one-of-a-kind anomaly linking multiple minting eras. The possibilities don't stop there. 2004 D cents are also known for severe die cracks, die chips, and cuds, raised metal lumps caused when pieces of the die break away, forming dramatic scars and bulges on Lincoln's face, neck, or around the date, often nicknamed by collectors as cracked skull Lincoln, bleeding eye Lincoln, or broken jaw penny, and while most of these sell for modest premiums, extreme examples where the crack forms a large cut covering part of the design can bring thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, especially in mint state condition, because they show the physical stress and failure of minting equipment frozen forever in metal, and each one is unique. Another captivating error from the 2004 D production is the broad strike error, where a coin is struck without the retaining collar that gives it its normal round shape, causing the coin to spread outwards, appear larger, and show design stretching near the edges. Collectors love these because they're dramatic and easy to identify, and when combined with other errors like off-center strikes, they become exceptionally valuable. Some 2004 D pennies show double strikes or triple strikes, meaning the coin was struck more than once by the die, producing overlapping or ghost-like images of Lincoln's face or the date, and the visual effect is mesmerizing, as if the coin captured motion in still metal. Such multi-struck coins from 2004 are among the rarest because the U.S. Mint's modern presses are designed to prevent such errors, but during die calibration or mechanical failure, a few slipped through, and those that survived in high grade are now priceless artifacts of minting imperfection. The Denver Mint, responsible for the D Mintmark coins, was running high-speed production lines in 2004 to meet massive demand, and this increased pace often led to minor die alignment issues and even doubled mint marks, where the D appears to have been punched twice at slightly different angles, creating what's known as a repunched mint mark or RPM, a type of error highly sought by specialists. Some RPM examples from 2004 D show such strong doubling that the second D appears almost like a shadow, and while minor RPMs may only be worth hundreds, a perfect one in gem condition could command thousands, contributing to the coin's legendary status. Even more intriguing is the discovery of 2004 D cent struck on foreign planchets, particularly those meant for Canadian or Central American coins, due to the mint's occasional shared metal batches for international contracts, and these off-metal strikes, identifiable by their unusual color, thickness, or weight, are among the rarest finds in modern coinage, each telling a story of how global minting overlaps can produce rare US era coins. The 2004 D also has a known die clash variety, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint ghostly impressions of design elements from one side onto the other, such as traces of the Lincoln Memorial visible behind Lincoln's head, and this eerie phenomenon, though subtle, adds mystery and charm to the coin, with perfect examples graded in high mint state fetching significant prices. There's even speculation of mule errors, coins struck with mismatched dies from different denominations or years, possibly existing for the 2004 D series, although no confirmed specimen has yet surfaced publicly. If one were ever found, it would likely become the centerpiece of a major auction and easily fetch or surpass the $4 million mark, because mule errors are the holy grail of minting mistakes, existing only through rare and improbable accidents. Some experts also point out the potential for transitional design errors in 2004, as the mint began testing modifications for the upcoming 2009 bicentennial designs, meaning experimental hubs or test dies could have been mistakenly used on small batches of coins, creating hybrid designs that blend older and newer details, such as subtle differences in Lincoln's beard, jacket lines, or the lettering thickness. Any verified example of such a transition would immediately become a multi-million-dollar discovery. The 2004 D penny's value isn't just about rarity, though, it's also about condition, provenance, and the story each coin tells. Collectors prize those that have survived in flawless mint red condition with full luster, meaning the coin hasn't been exposed to air long enough to tone or darken, and such examples are incredibly rare because pennies, being common and low in value, often get tossed around and damaged quickly.